Following the mimic's directions, you walk down the length of the fallen log, and at its end, you step from the soft forest floor onto smooth stone tiles. It feels like a well-kept ruin. There is no ceiling, and the walls show signs that there may have been a wooden floor that had long since rotted away. To your left is a hall, disappearing deeper into the ruins. To your right, an old wooden door, and sitting inside the fireplace in front of you is a chest with the back half of a frog sticking out of it. The mimic opens its lid and forces the white-eyed frog from its mouth with its long purple tongue. The frog grumbles and climbs up onto the mimic's lid. Oh, hello again. Finding yourself in all sorts of places, I see. Well, before you decide on a door, let me tell you a tale. Unlike a certain other mimic here, my story isn't always going to have all the little details, but it will be a story about a real tabletop game that I was actually a player for, which is rare. This is part 3 of the Exalted TTRPG story. Link to part 2 is in the description and at the end of this video on YouTube. When I joined the Exalted party, the group was on their way back to Jolan's kingdom from a mission that they had undertaken. At some point before, the group had come across a magic bottle that gathered energy and had gathered the energy of the 5 days of darkness creation has at the end of every year. Synapse was curious about what effects the collected darkness would have, and while the rest of the group was postulating, Blade decided to be helpful TM and drink it, turning him into a creature of darkness. The reason I bring this up is because Lynx did not see social attacks from creatures of darkness as valid. So anyway, the forest-dwelling cat sniffed out an interesting smell, that of her solar mate, and being curious, she shifted into a raven and went to find the source of the smell. Imagine her surprise when her solar turned out to be a creature of darkness, but also still somehow a solar? Very odd. That was for sure, and being a curious kitty, she decided to stick around the group and see what they were up to. The party wasn't really sure about this new lunar, especially since she had a tendency to ignore things she found boring, refuse the commands of others, and just kind of do her own thing. It should be noted that the ill fit of characters was completely in character. Out of character, the players had all been fine with me joining the game. Anyway, because of how aloof Lynx had been, Ivy, the other lunar of the group, pulled her aside and expressed that a solar circle was like a pack, and everyone in the pack needed to work together and follow the pack leader. Lynx reminded Ivy that she was a cat, not a dog, but assured her that she didn't have any intent of messing with the group's social order. She wasn't even sure how long she was going to stick around, since her solar mate was some kind of weird creature of darkness, and she wasn't a fan. We continued doing small missions in the south, at one point delving into a pocket of wild in the middle of a city. In order to keep everyone together, Lotus tied everyone into a line with silk scarves. This worked fine, until the wild energies transposed Jolan for a golden retriever. Lynx, ever the unserious jokester, decided that the dog was the king of release, and even after they met back up with Jolan, continued to refer to the dog as the king of release, even going so far as to insist that it return to Jolan's kingdom with them and live in the palace. She got her way. Things started getting way more serial after that. And you'll yap and yap about this stuff forever, the frog grouses, which means the prey, traveler, will never get where they need to be. So shut your trap and let our friend here make a choice. The mimic huffs, but doesn't continue her tale. Next time then, it offers. Deciding the door on your right is the better option, you move forward and push the wooden surface. As you do, you feel something strange, and for a moment, everything shifts and fuzzes. Like, comment, and follow so you don't miss out on part 4 of the story or the journey.